So, when you think about organizing a music festival, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's this image of a brilliant, beautiful storm, right? Constant last minute changes, putting out fires. We're told that managing chaos is just part of the job. But what if that's totally wrong? What if all that chaos is really just a sign that something's broken? Let's dig in and look at a whole different way of doing things.
This quote, "This is a real game changer." It completely flips the script on what it means to be a festival organizer. It suggests that all that frantic energy we tend to glorify isn't a necessary evil at all. It's a symptom. It means the real goal isn't just to get better at managing chaos, it's to build a system where chaos basically can't even get a foothold.
So that's the big shift we're exploring here. We're moving away from this myth of the organizer as a reactive firefighter, constantly battling emergencies. And we're embracing the reality of what's called creative operations. This is all about being proactive, having a structure, a mindset where precision and foresight don't kill creativity. They actually set it free. All right, first up, let's tackle the biggest, most important element of any festival, the audience. A truly successful event isn't just about who's on the poster. It's about understanding the actual science behind the thousands of people standing in front of that stage. And this brings us to a really crucial distinction. Crowd control, that's reactive. That's what you do when something's already gone wrong. But crowd management, that's proactive. That starts months, even years in advance, right in the design phase. You're literally engineering the space to guide people safely and stop those problems from ever happening in the first place.
And this is where the mindset really shifts. A crowd isn't just an unpredictable mob of rowdy fans. Nope. It's a living system, and it follows predictable patterns. And those patterns are based on two things: physics, how force actually moves through a dense group of people, and psychology, how people react to their environment. Once you get that, you can start designing for it. And make no mistake, the stakes here are incredibly high. A crowd surge isn't just about people getting jostled. It's a literal wave of force, so powerful it can actually crush the air out of people's lungs. Understanding this deadly phenomenon isn't just academic, it's the first step to preventing a tragedy. So, what's the magic number? Or, I guess, the danger number? Well, it starts right around 4 people per square meter. Now, to put that in perspective, imagine trying to cram 4 adults into a tiny little phone booth. Any denser than that, and people can't really move on their own anymore, which is exactly when the risk of a surge skyrockets. This isn't just a vague idea, it's a hard number that organizers have to watch like a hawk. The most important point here is that you can engineer safety. It is not about luck, it's about using smart tools like wave breakers, which are these special barriers placed within the crowd to diffuse pressure and break one giant mass into smaller, safer sections. It's about creating one-way paths to stop bottlenecks, and of course, it's about having spotters and cameras to see a problem developing long before anyone in the crowd even knows what's happening. Okay, let's switch gears and move to our second pillar, talent logistics. This is where we get into the artist-writer, which, let's be honest, gets a pretty bad rap. It's often seen as just a list of diva demands, but a real pro sees it as something totally different. Exactly. A novice organizer sees a writer and just groans. A bowl of only green M&Ms? Are you kidding me? But a pro looks right past those cliches and sees a blueprint for success. They know that every single item on that list, no matter how weird it sounds, is there to remove a variable, to build trust, and to create the perfect conditions for that artist to deliver a show you'll never forget. At the end of the day, that's all a writer is. It's a tool for clarity, written into a contract. It protects everyone, the artist and the organizer, from any misunderstandings by getting everything from the exact sound equipment to specific dietary needs down in writing way before the show starts. And usually, it's broken down into 2 main parts. You've got the technical writer, that's the non-negotiable stuff for the performance itself, the right mics, the stage setup, the specific lighting rig. Then you have the hospitality writer. That's all about the artist's well-being when they're off stage, making sure they're comfortable, well-fed, and ready to go. And yeah, the details can get incredibly specific. It's not just a microphone, it's a Neumann U87. It's not just DJ gear, it's 4 Pioneer CDJ 3000s. And that 6-hour pre-show soundcheck, that's what it takes to guarantee a flawless show. These aren't just demands, they are literally the ingredients for excellence.
So we've managed the crowd, we've managed the talent. Now, what about the hundreds of food trucks, merch booths, and all that production equipment? This brings us to our third pillar, the complex, beautiful dance of vendor logistics. I think we've all seen the before picture, right? That massive line of trucks all backed up for miles, everybody trying to squeeze through the same gate at 8 a.m. It's a nightmare. The after picture, the pro approach, is a smooth, choreographed flow of vehicles where everyone has a specific time to arrive. So how do you pull that off? Well, the key tool is often something called a marshalling yard. Think of it like an airport's holding pattern, but for trucks. Instead of everyone rushing the main venue, they go to a separate off-site area. They check in, they wait, and then they get called to the site one by one, only when there's a clear path and a space ready for them. It's brilliant. And what this lets you do is create this really logical, staggered schedule. The biggest stuff, the heavy staging and production, they go in first at, say, 7 a.m. Then you bring in the vendors based on their location. The food trucks that need to be way in the back of the venue go next, while the paths are still clear. It's just simple, organized common sense, and it works perfectly. Okay, let's pull all these threads together. We've talked about the science of crowds, the blueprints of an artist-writer, and the choreography of logistics. And what this all adds up to is a really profound shift in how you think about the job. And that brings us to this final piece of the philosophy. A tight budget, strict venue rules, a crazy deadline. A novice looks at these things and sees obstacles. But a pro sees them as design parameters. They're the very things that force you to be focused, to be decisive, and, weirdly enough, to be even more creative. They provide the clarity that, you guessed it, gets rid of the chaos. When you really embrace this way of thinking, you become what's known as a sovereign organizer. You're not just surviving the event anymore, you are truly leading it. You can move with this calm authority because you know you've built the systems and the structures that keep you grounded, even when everything around you is going a million miles an hour. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When the lights go down and the crowds finally go home, what's the real measure of success? Is it that unforgettable performance on stage? Or is it the invisible, perfectly executed plan that made sure every single person went home safe and sound? A great show is memorable, for sure. But a safe show is absolutely fundamental. And achieving both, well, that is the true art of creative operations.